Hey guys, I want to take a moment to talk about my game, so please get comfortable, get a beverage, and let's talk some SJFS. I'm going to fire up my file, and I'm going to go straight into battle, and I'm going to let the enemies attack me, and they will show my first step of progress for today. Ooh, a little bit slow there, but boom, you can see they're doing a more interesting technique than just their normal attack. I've adapted a lot of the controls that the player has in executing commands onto the enemies, so that involves stuff like this flame all command where our whole party is being hit. They're being hit in sequence, you can see it goes from top to bottom. Yeah, and all of the trouble that comes along with that should be resolved. For instance, if the party is smaller than the maximum size of 5, or if there are people dead in between or whatever. The next thing I've done is I've started working on self-targeting commands. So in the past, if I go attack, I can select an enemy. Flame all, I can select an enemy, and I've got the guides underneath to show the area of effect that the spell will have. If I take something like mend, you can see now, oh, I'm unintentionally drawing the red rectangles there, you can see. I think that's left over from the last offensive command I did. So if I go attack, they're removed, and then if I go mend, yeah, it's only hovering the guy I was hovering over before, which is interesting. But you can see, especially as my members are actually getting weaker and dying, I've given mend, it's got like a small area of effect. It'll hit 3 neighboring targets, which isn't possible right now with our center member dead. So, but in the next fight I'll resume. If he dies, it should adapt. Yeah, so if I targeted him, because his 2 neighbors are dead, he will be the only one that receives the spell. Ding, mend. It actually does damage right now. So we're not being very helpful to him, but if I target these 2 guys up here before we all die, he'll get the effect, and then he will also get the effect. And that also demonstrates something else subtle that I did. Was previously mend was a single targeted command, and without actually making a new object script for it, I managed to allow it to hit however many targets I set the ability to hit. So it could hit all randomly 10 times or whatever. I've streamlined all that stuff a little bit. Oh, have we crashed here? Is that why that's not going up? I think that means we have crashed here. That's strange, we're getting stuck in some kind of loop, because otherwise I would have got an error. Huh, well, I'll take a look at that in a bit. Yeah, you're returning right here, go straight into battle, and then we'll take a look at the mend command when everyone's available. There you can see it. This is kind of your area of effect for using it. So you'll hit 3 targets, neighboring ones. I've also got mend all, and there you go, it's hovering over all of the people here. You can see my little square indicators are overlapping a bit, but they're only temporary right now. So if I do mend all when it's his turn, he would do mend, applies the effect, and then it just goes down the list of targets. Obviously mend will be a healing spell of some kind. But yeah, so I've just done overall progress on the combat. I wanted to get ally targeting working for supportive effects, healing effects, and one thing I want to tackle soon is using items in battle, and that will require me to target both players and enemies depending on the item we used. So it's contextual to the item that we use and not the properties of the command itself. Cool, thanks for listening. I'm going to figure out why the game crashes when you game over. Goodbye.